This will do.
Am I wrong in saying that this is by far the biggest threat, the worst situation we've ever encountered in the show so far?
Oh god.
Yeah, we don't like to look at this one, but it was an accident. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is Mark hasn't killed anyone, except for Future Immortal, but you know, he doesn't count because it was the future, not a real timeline that matters. And also because it was immortal, not a real person that matters. You didn't kill anyone mortal. You didn't kill anyone who didn't ask to be killed. The bad news is multi-marks. Glad you feel better, and sorry about everything that will probably happen next. Net win? Also, how in the hell did he survive this? We can rebuild him stronger. Anger. How though? How? The will they won't they of Eve and their apartment starting to seem a little bit less important. How did he convince them? Oh no. Oh no. I don't think there is any more side stories for a while.
Make them see Invincible! Make them fear Invincible! Make them hide!
Invincible. Enjoy your last moments of downtime. Everyone is in danger. No one is safe.
The help he needs because the fight with my dad killed his sister and niece, or the help he needs because my fight with him killed his wife and son?
Mark.
I mean, he did that, and I only ended the first one.
I know those things weren't my fault. I really
Good.
do.
Good.
Still feels like... It's
Yeah.
just, it's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot, and it's incredibly disturbing, all of it.
No, it's okay. It's done. I did it.
Why don't you want me to meet your parents?
What?
You only have me over when they're not here, and you just canceled dinner with them again.
Well, now's not the right time. He's sensitive.
If we're doing this...
I don't know if you understand fully how terrible they are.
I don't know if I'm reading this correctly. My initial impression was that she was doing this for Mark's sake. Like, if he's dealing with all this right now, now's not the greatest time for a first in-law meeting. It also, at least for me, it seems less important, given that it could conceivably happen any time, though I know it can't. But yeah, if you're suffering through this emotional distress, it can wait.
I don't understand terrible parents.
Okay, sure.
That's weird. It's different. It's not the same.
On a guy's main issue.
Okay, this is a relief that it went to levity, because it didn't have to. I also don't really fully understand the obsession with in-law approval. Maybe this is just me, but I'm actually not even sure it would work for me if my significant other's in-laws' opinions were kind of the make or break of the situation, because I'm not committing to them.
Oh, hold on.
And that was the end of their happiness forever.
What?
Oh god, where does Oliver fit into all this?
This is what you call a prison on your world? Pathetic!
That's what I said. I had the same commentary as Evil Invincible. These are not great prisons. What powers? Just stick them in the room and we'll hope for the best. I like Mohawk Mark.
I wouldn't even keep you as a slave in my empire!
Oh no, there's the Empire thing again, which we've seen come true in the future. This Mark's future.
I've killed you before, and I'll kill you again.
These Marks seem a lot angrier. This must have been fun for Steven Yeun. Gun Mark.
Best tiger.
Oh, it's not Mark.
You sure this place is safe?
I gave up
Nowhere
my
is
job,
safe.
not
Nowhere
my
will ever be
house.
safe again.
And cheap edges out safe.
Huh? Yeah, well, good point.
Yes, that is a good point.
The team's less annoyed with me now that I've chilled out. Things with us are downright rad. For the first time in my whole
Don't talk like
miserable life,
don't finish that
I'm kind of
sentence.
in a good place.
No, I can't enjoy anything good in the show anymore. Not while this is happening. It's not possible. It's so crazy and so outrageous of a writing move. I think I didn't even fully process it last episode. I think I was like, they actually just can't do this. Because if this is really happening, which it seems like it is, it feels like there's going to be before this incident and after this incident. It almost makes Chicago look like nothing, depending on how far they choose to take this.
Oh, shit. Whoa, what are you doing?
Coming with you.
If it's really bad, I'll call.
Right, you were tired, yeah.
Now lay one on me, mama. For luck.
Yeah, you're too casual about this. He doesn't know. Who could have expected?
I'll be right back.
No! Why do you keep doing this, Rex? Do you hate yourself? Do you hate your life? Again. This prison just wasn't meant for this world.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How did you get here? I heard you the first time, dipshit.
At least we did training. I can't say he didn't train for once. Oh my god. Oh no. But he hasn't been training with Nolan. This is one of countless.
Are you here? To make your life miserable.
How did Ernstrom convince them, though?
We've got to stop these bastards before it's too late. Bolt! Kid Door! It's me! Stop!
Yeah, we need some kind of... Oh, no, you're fighting everyone, as if it wasn't bad enough. We need some kind of demarcator. It doesn't help that he just changed his suit.
Overwhelming local and government.
We actually... We need Oliver. Like, I don't know what else there is.
Until reports revealed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Debbie. I'm sorry, Debbie. This may be one of the worst days of your life.
I can help. I have to help.
You're too young, Oliver. They'll
He just
kill
let her
you.
overpower him.
You and Mark are always telling me to care about people. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, not now.
I don't know. I think you let Oliver make this choice, as much as this sucks. And you can doubt a lot of things about Oliver. He's shown some manipulative tendencies. He has an unrefined, childlike take on the value of people's lives. One thing I don't doubt at all is his love and adoration for his brother. Wow, this is excruciating for Debbie.
They might come here, so don't come back to the house until it's over.
You need to hide.
Find Mark.
What about you?
You need to go
I'm
away
going
somewhere
somewhere
safe.
safe.
Yeah, please. Don't go to Paul's house. Or maybe go to Paul's house. Who knows about Paul?
We'll take it from here.
I also think it's time to patch things up with Cecil.
Okay, stop. Jesus, she's dead.
Thank God for this technology, for real. Thanks, Donald.
So no way to predict what they're gonna do next either.
There is some good news, sir. This Invincible definitely wasn't as strong as ours.
You figure there'll be a range, right?
Start the boys making more of those noisemakers and get the room back up and running. We need to respond.
There's going to be a distribution of them. Some of them will be weaker, some of them will be stronger. It's also possible that some of them are way weaker and way stronger, just because of how that works.
Sir, the engineering wing is gone.
Oh.
We make calls.
To who?
Everyone, Donald. Everyone.
Yeah, even Cecil probably didn't see this coming. It's not fair having to prepare against every single dimension of reality. Oh, he's like just directly helping people. This is great.
Finally! Invincible!
Are you sure that's the one? Are you sure that doesn't look like the right one?
Oh. And who do we have here?
I don't know. I don't think Oliver's ready for this. I hope this is one of the weaker ones.
Bad, Mark.
Yes, it's terrible.
What do we do? They're all me.
None of them are you.
There's only one person who could have done this. I already killed him.
Put that together. Is it Saitama?
Finally, a suitable host for the
Oh, this thing. I remember this thing. Damn, it's a throwback. Damn, that was a big slip. What a fumble.
Good riddance to you wretched females.
Yeah, enjoy eternity alone, you misogynistic jerk.
Look at this came back around. Damn, that was a generational fumble losing Invincible.
This is gonna be fun.
Is it?
Thanks. I think you fixed it. Now let's fix you.
He needs to find people and yeah, he needs to be an assistant, not leading the thing solo. He needs to find original Mark. On the plus side, Eve really does feel like a game changer.
These two giving you trouble?
Fuck off! I got this.
Swearing doesn't make you cool.
Go. Eve.
No way.
No, yeah, this is the only chance you have. You need to do like some of the things you don't really want to do, I think. I think now would be the time. We need to use more of her particle stuff, except for just like pink shields. Oh no, that's terrible. It's not enough. It's not enough. Eve could do more.
I always hated you.
Eve's holding back, right? I always hated you. What happened in that dimension?
You can't save her and fight us both. Yeah, you're fucked, dude.
I don't know, like, it's kind of weird. This is just me imagining and speculating. Don't you immediately have a soft spot for yourself? Maybe that assumes that you like yourself. For example, if this were switched and this were Omni-Man, I feel like Omni-Man would immediately get along with all other Omni-Mans. Omni-Man. But it doesn't even necessarily have to be a narcissistic thing. Like, you just know yourself. You have a better, more intimate relationship with yourself. Though I guess that also could fade away as the numbers of yourself increase. Like, yeah, if there's 10,000 of you at that point, what do you care? Oh my god. This feels familiar once again. Maybe Immortal can get some justice, some vengeance.
You guys are so good.
He's having a little too much fun with this.
You're a pale imitation of Invincible, you monster!
He actually really likes this Invincible.
Insult me. Come on.
This is gonna be so tragic for Immortal to lose like this again. Oh my god.
My dad killed most of you guys in my world, and your stretchy friend
that happened here
wasn't even
too.
there. He's awesome.
Oh no! Off screen? Oh.
Oh no, I'm gonna not be alive. You're a weird dude.
God, that's infuriating. Mark can be a real dick. Again. Well, they got to be together in the end.
Kill them too fast and then it's over. No torture, no screaming, no fun. This sucks. We're not dead yet. Hey!
Yeah, this is the best thing you have. Invincible is vulnerable to things that aren't just a direct confrontation of strength. Man, that Martian thing. There's been a lot of dark moments in the show. That one was bad because he's such a great, lovable, comedic character. They really just took that and twisted it and then just stretched it out to the point of cruelty. Seeing all these marks really gives a lot of credit to Mark's concerns and to Debbie's parenting.
Debbie?
I can't go, Paul. I'm worried about my boys.
And you're probably better off in a random house than in a big center where people are gathered.
Mom, I'm hurt. I need you. Mom!
Oh, they're hunting
shit.
Debbie.
I was really looking forward to killing her again.
Again!
Shapesmith, you gonna make it?
Oh, thank God. There's some hope.
Since it didn't get punched to goop, I'll eventually be
Thank
able to
God.
pull
There's some
myself
light in the
together.
darkness.
Was that too much information? I'm
No,
not even sure
no,
I'm
tell me
awake
more
right now.
about how you're going to survive.
Darkweed sacrificed himself to save us. So we need to get back in the game.
Yeah.
It's good that we gave him a second chance.
Oh, right. I don't have legs.
You do not have legs, man, even in a situation like this. How does he find ways to be hilarious? You know what would be great right now? And I can't believe it took me so long to have this thought. Alan in original Omni-Man. God, now would be a great time. If you have any inklings, the slightest hope at all of being able to be tolerated by Earthlings, now would be a great time to show up.
Get Amanda and Rex out of here.
Huh?
They're not ready for this. They never were. Rudy's the one chance they have.
Oh man, this guy's really gonna get it.
Well, on the positive side, he still has all his brains.
Help me carry Amanda.
You need to get out now.
Take your obvious name and get them out of here.
No! You couldn't even knock a paper out of Cecil's hand that one time.
Tell Ray.
Stop! Just stop talking.
That was stupid.
It was also heroic. Okay, alright, okay, good. This is great. I'm sorry I called you the most useless member of the group. Don't celebrate. Marks in all dimensions love their chokeholds.
Ouch! But I'm the idiot who took you with me.
Yeah? How? You're out of shit to explode.
Oh no.
My entire goddamn skeleton, dickhead.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh god. Wow, he died like a real hero. Assuming he's dead. I've been fooled in the show before. Cecil! Get that Donald procedure ready. Stat. It was just his skeleton exploding through his body. I don't know, I can't really shake it. They're doing the whole musical thing too. Feels like they're trying to make this final, regardless of whether he lives or dies. This is just such a great hero arc, like from the nothing that Rex was, kind of annoying, selfish, rude, to noble, self-sacrificial, positive, encouraging. You never really know, you can't just write people off. Part of me can't let go of this one glimmer of hope, if nothing else based on the fact that he's just too annoying to die, and he would love to come back and gloat about his survival, and what he did.
Still with me, Donald?
Seems that way.
Damn, Donald's a beast.
You're doing better than most, I'm afraid.
Sadly.
They could come here, kill her to get at me.
We need to put aside our differences right now.
The world needs you.
You got every
right, yeah, you need to get back there to fight.
fighting for you right now.
Mark, Oliver's out there.
Yeah, I need to find him.
You're gonna have to explain this to Eve when she wakes up, and she's not going to like it.
I don't care.
I hope you don't regret this.
He will. Oh, Mark, you need to get out there, man. I know, it's a lot to ask of him. I can't really ask it of him, but... Oh my god, it's still going. Haven't you made your point?
Phase 1 is complete. Meet me you know where.
Phase 1 of how many?
Not only have you destroyed his planet, but you've also destroyed him.
Looks that way right now.
Come on! The deal was we help you.
This is my favorite
and then
costume.
you help us take over a bunch of other dimensions. We didn't all make
Okay,
the
there
same
it is.
deal, man. I came here to find Mom and bring her back with me.
The thing is, he hates all of you, so he probably is not going to deliver.
We're all the same person. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
This one actually seems like he has a chance. Like there's some kindness there.
Give us our dimensions now, or we'll kill you.
Yeah, and surely he has some
Don't be
contingency
stupid.
for
If we
this.
kill him, we'll be stuck in this shithole forever.
Okay, there's one contingency. Some of them
Hell
won't care.
Love it.
A lot of them won't really care. He's gotten better.
You're dead! Ugh! He can't hear you, idiot!
Well, that takes care of them. Thank God, at least. But there's more where that came from, presumably, no? It's sort of an infinite problem, unless you deal with Ernstrom. And you need to deal with infinite Ernstroms? I guess it's just the one. I don't love the fact that Mark stayed behind. I think he is broken, though that's completely understandable. The silver lining is that he's still alive. It feels pretty likely he would have been killed if he went back out.
We found him. You still want to sit this one out?
Oh, now you leave?
Oh, good. You came to me.
You need to think. I know this is tough, but
No, you didn't.
you don't want to fall into this again. Don't fall into the same thing again. Don't repeat history. Yeah, and he's gotten better at this. There you go.
Which is why I brought these.
They're probably coming back around, even if you dodge them. Okay, thank you. I can't really ask him to keep cool, but... Oliver, someone's gotta help us.
I'll bring you back. Once I'm done destroying everything you love.
You really shouldn't have said that. We almost had him. Finally. This is a chance to not repeat history.
Do it! Kill him!
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Look at what he did! Kill him so he can never do this again!
Oh my god. You need to incapacitate him right now. That's for sure. And if he dies in the incapacitation, he dies in the incapacitation. I'm not gonna lose a second of sleep over his death. I mean, even if Mark just murdered him outright, I'm not gonna cry over it. But Mark has lines, and he set those lines for himself. And the ultimate highest level heroic thing is to not kill him and just make sure that he can't do this again. And this has all the weight of every season, and particularly this season about the question of the value of human life and also redemption and choice and all that. But then there's the complication of Oliver, who, like, he's right. I mean, this makes no sense. It makes no sense from just about every perspective why Mark wouldn't just murder him. It's the hardest sell even for the people selling it, which is partly why I think it's important. I'm sure that Oliver's side is one that's held by a lot of people viewing the show. Just do it. Just kill him. I want to see it happen too, on some level, but that's the same level I don't want to listen to and I don't want leading. The risk of him not killing him is from escaping, and then Oliver, see, that's why it was right to kill him. But even if he doesn't kill him and he doesn't escape, I don't know if Oliver can fully understand this. So the flip side of this is the example you were setting for Oliver. These are the precedents you set for him. What does it tell Oliver? What message does it send him if you can break the rules when you want to? The real test is not how virtuous you are when virtue is easy and obvious. Everybody agrees with the virtue when it's in their self-interest to do so, when the flow of momentum goes that way. The real test of strength is, do you hold to your virtues when everyone else is against you? When maybe even you yourself are against you? There's nothing impressive about being virtuous when you're praised for being virtuous or punished for not being virtuous. There's something impressive about being virtuous even when it comes at your own peril, and when it's screaming against every instinct that you have, or anger or emotions or anything.
What are you waiting for?
I hear what you're saying, Oliver. Trust me, I hear what you're saying.
You've given me no choice.
Oh, this no choice thing, I hate it. This is the worst of all possible situations. He was gonna make a moral compromise and he failed. I don't know if you wanna... Oh, well, that's not really that useful. I don't know what we're gonna do with his arm. This is nothing compared to your face the last time, but...
Fix this.
Yeah.
I'm getting my invincibles and we're going back. This isn't over.
I feel like these doctors have a role to play. You should not be helping this man.
You're gonna let me bleed to death?
These robots have more sense than, like, most of the living characters in the show, the sentient creatures. Thank God. Somebody has some sense.
Promises were made, Angstrom Levy, and we delivered on ours.
Oh, it's mercenary. They want something.
You work for us now.
Wow, my enthusiasm just drained out of me. Well, I'm sure they're nice and they have good intentions. So, let's be optimistic. And at least this seems to have ended this for now. I can never rest again, knowing that this is out there as possible.
London, Tokyo, New Delhi, Seoul, and Sydney have suffered similar damage.
I didn't see Soul in there. I gotta go back and watch it again. I don't think I've ever had the chance to see animated Soul. This could be the Han River, but I don't think so.
The death toll worldwide is already into the hundreds of thousands.
Oh my God.
We're all hoping to have answers, and we're praying that those answers come soon.
Sorry, Mark. The tragic, sick irony of this is that of all the evil Marks we've seen, this is like the most sympathetic and understandable villain backstory. This is the point where you might just give up and disappear and do whatever you wanted and follow your whims. But it happens to our Mark.
All that time I thought I killed Angstrom, all the torture I put myself through.
Now you wish you had, probably.
All I can think about is how I should have killed him.
You probably should have.
In hindsight, yep.
You can't blame yourself for being a good person, Mark.
What if he comes back?
Yeah, how do you live under this weight?
Which is why we're going to rebuild, find new talents, put teams back together, fund new research. And you sure as hell brought the world together on this. And we've still got you.
It's sad how it takes tragedy to show you who your real friends are. It's kind of awe-inspiring that this can be the take. The way it hits me is that there's not even really a lot of pretense in it. I don't even think Cecil is convinced they can always win. I don't think it's some assurance of things happening the right way or that they won't die or won't be destroyed that fuels him. In fact, I would wager a guess that if you ask Cecil, what do you think is the prognosis for the future of the world and humanity? There's a good chance he would say, we're going to be annihilated eventually. That does just seem like the realistic path for humanity in this world where there's multiple dimensions of people with superpowers that scale beyond your imagination and beyond anything you can reasonably prepare for. And so it's just a matter of time, which you might say is the same for us without superhero powers, just the way technology goes. But there's like a present focus of, well, I'm just going to do what I need to do at any given moment. I'm not going to stop fighting. The outcome's kind of irrelevant. It's just my duty. If there's any chance you can make a difference, if there's any chance there's some good you can do, even if it's just delaying the outcome long enough to give things a chance for a more permanent solution, then that's what you do.
We could really use some help in New York. Your brother's already there.
At least things with Oliver are okay. Also, this is almost definitely a turning point for Oliver, since he's helping people. He's seeing people suffer. He's seeing the effects of catastrophe on people with his own eyes. He's probably developing some sympathy for it.
After this is over, we're still not working together.
What? After everything that's happened? To be holding on to a grudge right now.
Mark!
Is that the electricity dude helping?
How do we rebuild from this?
Well, there he is.
How dare you show your face here? How much death do you
Yeah,
need?
there's going to be a lot of this.
Don't hit him!
This is not going well. This is escalating.
This isn't right!
Britt, get him out of here.
But this is a preview of what's to come for Invincible. I mean, a lot of people will never bother to understand. They'll just blame the face.
This is all Invincible's fault!
And I can understand the pull to not want to be associated with him. This is make or break. I mean, you're going to find out who a lot of people really are in this incident and what they stand for. And a lot of people won't bother to find out the actual details of what happened or care about Mark's take on it or his humanity as a person. And people will use his image as a driver of hate because they need a target. They need something to fixate on. And he's very sensitive and he's very self-doubting. He's really going to need something to anchor himself to that's higher than public opinion and consensus thought du jour. Knowing Mark, I don't know if he's fully capable of that kind of reasoning yet, but he can maybe find it in really good people around him.
Angstrom did this because of me. I can't ignore that anymore. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You're linked, yeah. And you can't unlink yourself. And he has a non-enviable, pitiable amount of responsibility for what comes next. And this is all going to be a whirlwind of emotions and it's not going to make any sense. And there's just so much sadness that it's almost impossible to think clearly in this moment. And because you can't help but trace that line, you're going to go down that road of like, it's my fault and I could have done things so much differently. And it's also not that he's totally clean in this past because there were moral mistakes that he made. And yet, and this will become more obvious applying it to a situation with less stakes, though I think it still will apply to a situation of great stakes. The rumination itself, the self-hatred itself, the blame element of it, separate from the responsibility element of it, actually does nothing. It sucks because it feels this way, but you can't actually get a grip on the present or the future through over-attributing your own role and your own inefficiencies in the past. Everything is all my fault. I'm disgusting. I'm so terrible. I messed up. These are things that I think everyone understands. None of those things for anyone at any time have ever been helpful roads to go down as the thoughts alone. It's only what you do now that will have any impact on what happens. Your regrets and guilt and pain, only to the extent that those things are informative for those actions, are these things useful. And no further. It's a desire to try to grip reality back into your own hands because you've been violated. Your concept of yourself and the feeling of control you have over your world and peace you've experienced that you maybe took for granted has been stolen from you. But that is always the reality to some extent. These things are always possible. Terrible things are always going to happen, and you yourself are going to do terrible things. You can't let these things defeat you and, even worse, influence you into either being inactive in ways that are really important or worse, to add to and contribute to the misery. So we're meeting the in-laws.
She's our daughter. And we'd like some privacy with her.
He was leaving.
I was, just leaving anyway.
This dude, man, he just tries to assert his weight around because he's so ineffectual and has no weight.
You must know that Samantha has powers.
I'm aware.
I know.
She was helping me fight to try to
We're
save
always worried
people.
something like this, well, exactly like this would happen.
And the worrying didn't stop it.
The doctor said she's optimistic. Samantha's injuries aren't as severe as they could have been.
What do you see in your husband?
You know, it's funny. Oh, no, it's not funny. No, that's a horrible thing to say. It's ironic. That still doesn't seem right. Oh, shoot.
Tell me about it. I struggle with this too.
Valerie. She and Samantha played together when they were younger.
I remember Valerie.
She wasn't out fighting anyone or putting herself in any danger, but she's dead. And our little girl is alive.
I see what you're laying down.
I'm sorry, dear. I don't mean to be so morbid. I just...
No, I appreciate it. And thank you for the kindness, because it's in rare supply these days. I think she's with this man because she's too nice. I think she's one of those people that is just so nice. She sees the good in everyone. God, is he irritating. He's like a special type of irritating. What you just said seems sort of innocuous and off the cuff, but I think actually very significant for this moment. Speaking of being violated through our illusions being shattered of like, this is the way the world works. This is the world order, and I just do X and I get Y, and I always do X and I always get Y, and I can predict the future. I can predict events to a reasonable degree in a way that keeps me measured and safe. And yeah, I can assess the situation like, yeah, just kill him, because then all this is avoided. And we get a little bit trapped by that because that works looking back. It works in the past. Like, you can draw a clear link between what happened with Mark and Ernstrom the first time and what happened now. The past is linear, but then we take that model and we apply it to the present's effect on the future, which is radically different because it hasn't happened yet. It just exists as potential. It's not a linear relationship at all. Past to present is linear. It's mapped out already. Present to future is not. Maybe even more importantly, past to present is finite and present to future is infinite. So even if you could predict from X to Y, you cannot predict from Y to Z to the N, especially as it branches out in a web-like pattern across all of time. So it's much easier for me to agree with Cecil and Mark about like, yeah, you should have killed Ernstrom on that planet, judging from this moment, than it is for me to say you should have killed Ernstrom just now when you had him by the throat and Oliver was egging you on. The only thing reliable you have to work with is what is good, because you know what is good is good. It's good right now, and if it's a value worth any salt, it will be good for all of time, no matter who it's applied to and what situation it's applied to. It's just good for goodness' sake, which I feel is very relevant to Mark because it's kind of where his conception of the world breaks down for me. Because he blames himself, right? It's like, if I had done X, then this wouldn't have happened, or I should have done this, and then this would have happened. And yeah, that is true in hindsight. You can make that case, but then you're not left with anything to work with. Suddenly your compass, your whole outlook on the world is determined by raw circumstance. So you're not really standing for anything because you can't account for circumstance through all of time always. You end up being much more vulnerable to just like the whim of fate and particles moving. So Mark's emotions are seesawed completely reasonably and understandably by the turn of events, but there's nothing else to anchor himself to because it's entirely dependent on just the way things go. If anything that stems from a situation that you had a hand in or touched turning out bad is your fault, then you're just completely doomed, especially at this level of power and world exposure. I think it's much more useful to use the attribution of wrongdoing. This came up last episode because Mark's like, oh, I just did the same thing again. I got tricked into taking out a rival, and that led to this person not being caught and doing bad things and the rival eliminated. And he chalks it up as being the same because the outcome is the same. But for me as a viewer, I feel like actually it's fundamentally different because the second time he kind of stuck to his guns and was like, no, this feels wrong to me. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to fight the bad that I see, which in this case was Lou. And yeah, the result was the same. And he kind of internalized that as like, I've not grown. But for me, there was character growth there because it was an anchoring to something higher. In the mother's example just now, Eve lived and the other girl who didn't show up to fight didn't. Go figure. That is not what you would expect typically. And obviously it easily could have gone the other way. Just hypothetically, Eve could have died and the girl who didn't fight lived. That's the more intuitive prediction. But what wouldn't change is that Eve showed up to fight and the other girl didn't. That's always true, always the same, no matter how the dice roll plays out. And that is something that is repeatable across time, all time, anytime. And I would also argue over a long enough time span does way more good on a practical level because you've promoted those values. You have been a soldier in a much more important fight than like the happenings of any given moment. That's the real cause. It's not the issue of the month. It's not your side. It's not your group. It's honor and goodness and values and strength and a robustness of spirit. It's not about a quick win now. You do the best that you can. You try to be good. good, or at least try not to do evil. And then if good things roll your way, if good things happen, you just are grateful. And if bad things happen, you don't let it destroy you. You don't indulge in this sort of narcissism-based guilt that it's all your fault, that you are the only thing that matters and played a role. Even if people hate you, even if people are caught up in the flavor of the week, even if they need to use you as an outlet for their own frustration and their own violated worldviews, you just show up and continue to do good. That, I think, is the essence of heroism.
He's starting to revive now.
Is it Rex?
Immortal.
Oh, it's Immortal.
Can you hear me?
I mean, were we really worried? He's immortal. It's in his name. It's not his first death.
I'm done. I've given this world enough.
I mean, fair. You can walk.
Yes. Yes, oh my god.
It's my understanding that of the many controversial issues at the start of the season, in what I thought would be a long civil war between Cecil and Mark, was Immortal siding with Cecil, which actually, even though, I have my misgivings about Immortal, I think was perfectly reasonable overall. I mean, there was the feel of like, you must do what authority says because it's the authority, which I hate. But what he said to the team formerly known as Teen Team, the former Teen Team, was reasonable. It's like, well, if you're not going to give it your all, if you want to leave, there's the door. And I think that's perfectly valid. I think you do have a responsibility to do your best and to use your gifts and to not shy away from responsibility. But it also is irresponsible to not know where your limits are and to be in over your head. And if you really just are not willing to give energy to something and to show up and do your best at it, then it's probably not the right thing for you to be doing. And so if Immortal can't handle it, and we've seen what happens when Immortal can't handle something, then I can't really take issue with his resigning. I think the critical distinction is like, is it an escape? Could you actually do it and you just like can't be asked? Are you just making excuses? Is there some self-deception or lie there? Or actually, do you really care and are willing to do what it takes and you just recognize like, this is probably the best thing I could do right now? That's reasonable. Though it's really hard to know where that line is. I'm not saying it's easy. On the plus side, at least the relationship looks less toxic than I previously thought. It seems genuine, even if they're still an annoying couple.
Don't think our enemies will be kind enough to take a break while we rebuild.
Nope.
What about Rex?
Rex is dead.
I was hoping to. Rex was a friend.
I want you to lead the Guardians.
What? No. There's no way I'm qualified for that. And I thought I made it clear that I'm done working for you.
We need to let that go.
You stood up to me, Mark. That means something.
It means I'm the wrong guy for the job.
Or to Cecil's point, you're the right person for the job. I get Cecil's point. We need to be unified.
I'll work you out.
Okay, he took it. He accepted it.
If you're going for the hard sell, I'm not in the mood.
I don't know. I think he's past that.
We're still on the same side. We're still trying to save lives. And we're still the good guys.
Right.
If you need someone to talk to,
you're the last person I want to talk to right now.
Yeah, I mean, he'll say that out of pride, but I think it was important for Cecil to say that. And I mean, let it sink in a little bit. He made it clear. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's already getting in. You can feel where it's coming from. And I wish there was more of this, man. Like, it almost brings a tear to my eye. I guess this episode just has me worked up. I really wish that this was more of, like, the common intention. Like, it's okay to have differences of opinion. It's such a simple thing, yet it's so moving. And it's striking seeing it because of its absence. But, like, presumably, most of us have a common goal. Of course, not everyone does. Some people are miserable and hateful and cherish and destruction and seeing other people suffer. That exists as an element, but, like, generally we can agree, I think, on most things. Most people can. But you wouldn't know it necessarily because we're so caught up on the tools of the execution towards those things that we forget what Cecil just said, that we're on the same side. It's okay to have differences of opinion. People who don't agree with you aren't evil, like they just don't agree with you. This is why the idea of taking the highest form of the argument is really important to me, because I feel like the battleground of ideas is not even in the ideas. It's not even in the discussion of ideas, what the best methods are. Like, for Mark and Cecil to have a discussion about like, okay, we're clear on our goal. We're on the same team. Is it okay to use reform criminals? Let's discuss this. Would be so much better than like fighting along the lines of who's a better person and who is better than who and you're evil and I'm good. Fighting the battle along lines of categorization. If you think this, you're an X. If you think this, you're a Y. And then the whole fight being about like, I'm not an X, I'm not a Y, which doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't matter what you're categorizing it as. It's just a convenient shortcut on sophist argumentative grounds to try to defeat your opponent in the realm of public opinion and perception so that you don't actually have to get to the argument, because the argument is where the difficult stuff happens, and the more important stuff, the stuff we both actually probably care about. And it's worse because we pile that layers deep. So like then there's an argument about the argument about the argument. It's not let's talk reasonably about this issue. It's if you don't agree this is the best approach to this issue, you are an X. And then X gets cemented as like the baseline of the conversation. And so then it's like, if you do Q, that means you're an X. And then you're saying, I'm not a Q because you don't want to be an X. But X is already one layer removed from the issue we started with in the first place. Again, the one we both agree is important. I really would love to see that become a conscious problem of like, what level of this am I even having the discussion on? Why am I arguing about whether or not I'm a Q? Because I don't want to be seen as an X? Well, I don't even care if I'm an X because the initial problem was the problem. How can you be a unified force for good if you're quibbling about like these extraneous layers of problems that actually have no meaning? They're just words, they're just labels. You can talk to the people who are who are good and who love you and care about you. It's more important than the people that agree with you.
Got another one over here.
At least he's back out there in the world. It's not going to be easy. I feel so sorry for him. Yeah, and he's got to look at this every day, all the
Get
time.
ready for my arrival, worm.
Oh, not now. Not now. Or maybe now. You came at the wrong time, actually.
You were given more leeway than most, and yet
Look
I find
around
this
you.
planet unprepared for the arrival of our Viltrum Empire.
Read the room a little bit.
I am Conquest, and I am your last chance to fulfill your duty.
Conquest looks like he's been around.
The only thing I want to do right now is hit something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you are...
Good.
Yeah, I don't know what you're walking into. You kind of maybe save Mark's soul a little bit here by giving him an enemy to fight. Yeah, because that isn't himself and his own self-hatred. And you came at a time when the Earth is the most united. I guess the biggest fear, the real fear, is like more collateral damage because the Earth doesn't need more of that from Invincible. I also worry that for Mark, there's been no real addition or reinforcement in a positive way towards heroic ideals, like I was saying. He might be more quick to be like, yeah, I'm just going to kill people from now on. If there's any risk, which, like, honestly, I would understand. I just don't think that's the most heroic thing. This is obviously one of the biggest, if not the biggest, episode of Invincible. I feel pretty sad. I mean, I'm sad for him. I'm sad for Mark because he's a good kid. He's just in way over his head. I feel really sad about Rex. On a conceptual level, I feel terrible that hundreds of thousands of people died, but I didn't know them, so, you know, whatever. I feel bad for Eve's wife having to be married to that man. I feel bad for Debbie, who, you know, she just wants to live a normal life. Like, man, that normal thing really coming around this season. They were landing on pretty thick, and here we are. But there is a silver lining, and I think that silver lining is really important, and that is amazingly coming through from Cecil, the mercenary ends justify the means, do whatever it takes to survive, rule-breaking Cecil, who actually feels pretty wholesome in this moment, and reasonable and not conniving and supportive. Right now, for me, that kind of eclipses some of the more questionable elements of his nature, because he actually is a light. You know, it's the spirit of continuing to fight and do what you feel is best, do the right thing, never give up hope, show up to each situation without backing down, on and on again, forever, with no promise of relief, rest, just because it's the right thing to do and because you want to help people's lives. That, I think, is the mentor Mark needs. That's the message he needs. He needs something bigger than things went badly and I didn't stop it. Something more than I wasn't good enough. Something he can believe in that will give him the strength to resist what will inevitably be a life full of difficult choices and pain and struggle and destruction. God, this episode was so insane they didn't even give us an after credit sequence.